Costa Rican authorities releasing this image of the scene where actor Malcolm-Jamal Warner's body was found. The 54-year-old drowned in Costa Rica Sunday while on a family vacation, with police saying he was caught in a rip current while swimming near a beach in Limon. Investigators say beachgoers tried to rescue him, but it was too late. Police there saying today an autopsy completed confirmed it was accidental. Warner made America laugh for all 8 seasons of The Cosby Show, starting on the show when he was just 13 years old and was nominated for an Emmy for the role of Theo Huxtable.
You will always be my son. Thanks, Dad.
After the show ended, Warner kept acting, with parts in film and TV. From sitcoms like Malcolm and Eddie and Read Between the Lines, to more dramatic roles like Sons of Anarchy and The Resident. He won a Grammy in 2015. Co-star Raven-Symoné posting a message on social media.
He was a beacon. He was one of the most multifaceted, talented men. So gentle.
Actor Jeffrey Owens, who played the brother-in-law of Warner's character, releasing this statement. This tragedy has almost left me speechless. Malcolm was a lovely man, a sweet and sensitive soul. I respected him for many reasons, including the fact he genuinely loved the act of creation. Warner leaves behind a wife and daughter. Just a few months ago, he posted this video, a flower given to him by his daughter tucked behind his ear.
Just wanted to remind you, as I remind myself, that no matter what's going on, there's always a reason to smile.
Warner saying in a 2013 interview he was proud of the life he built after his famous role in The Cosby Show, saying he has peace of mind knowing he hasn't wronged anyone. Jacqueline Lee.
It's your girl, Kesha Renee. I want to talk about something that's been weighing on me, and clearly a lot of y'all feel the same way. The passing of actor Malcolm-Jamal Warner has left more questions than answers. At first, we were told it was a tragic drowning off the coast of Costa Rica, but with each new update, the story keeps changing. And honestly, something just doesn't sit right. Let's start with what we know. On July 20th, Malcolm tragically drowned after being caught in a powerful current while swimming near Playa Grande in Cahuita, Costa Rica. Reports say he was pulled from the water without vital signs, despite efforts from bystanders and the Costa Rican Red Cross. Another man involved in the same incident was also rushed to a nearby clinic in critical condition. His identity and current condition are still unknown. Now, here's where it gets different. Just before he passed, Malcolm sent a 5-paragraph email to his podcast co-host Candace Kelly from the plane. From the plane, y'all? Who sends a deep, reflective message like that right before a family vacation? In the email, Malcolm wasn't talking about beaches or sunshine. He was talking about purpose, about legacy, about making an impact on the Black community through their podcast, Not All Hood. He spoke of wanting to shift narratives and take their work to the next level. Candace shared that he was determined to challenge the harmful stereotypes that have followed Black people for generations, and he used his voice, his platform, and his power to do exactly that. It wasn't just entertainment for him, it was mission-driven. And let me tell you something else he told her. He was heading to Costa Rica to meet up with his wife and daughter, excited for what was supposed to be a beautiful family vacation. But the tone of that email, it was different. It almost reads like someone tying up loose ends, almost like he knew. Candace said she's now rereading that message with a new lens, and it's giving her chills. And to be honest, same, even more touching, Malcolm would often text her just to check in. He cared deeply about how he was being perceived, not for ego's sake, but because he wanted to be sure that he was walking in alignment, especially when it came to his wife and daughter. That family was his everything. He didn't just speak about fatherhood, he lived it. And he was so so proud of his little girl. So, with all of this said, I have to ask the question that many of you have been whispering in the comments and the DMs. What really happened in Costa Rica? Why are the details trickling out like this? Why are we just now hearing about this deeply personal message? And why does it all feel like it's being wrapped up too neatly, too quickly? This doesn't feel like just a tragic accident. This feels like a man who had something more to say and maybe didn't get the chance. I'm sending love to his family, to everyone mourning this loss, and to those who, like me, are watching closely because your spirit is telling you something's not adding up. Let me know your thoughts below. Have you felt that something deeper is going on here? What do you think that email really meant? And if you appreciate content like this, where I go beyond the headlines and follow the energy, not just the news hit, that like, share, and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss a beat. Rest in power, Malcolm-Jamal Warner. Your impact is eternal.
Foul play, foul play, foul play. There was nothing in my channeling about Malcolm-Jamal Warner that indicated that Mother Nature had anything to do with his death. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys know this. Malcolm-Jamal Warner is who I went to. I went to the source, and he was very good in showing me things. Okay, so his spirit is very strong. Okay, straight to the source. I did a video on TikTok and I told y'all that he was hiding something. I also posted it on here on YouTube. I found out what that was as well. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into it. Like I said, this is foul play. There was nothing about Mother Nature that Malcolm-Jamal showed me to tell me that this was natural with like the current in the water. And the way y'all have to understand how these things work, this communication, because y'all don't understand that the way that we talk here is not the real way that we communicate. We communicate through symbolism, through signs. Okay, and so I know how to break those signs down. I know what symbolism that he gives me and what it means. Okay, so that's how I know Mother Nature did not have anything to do with this. Okay, also, how I know it was foul play is because he showed me someone fixing his food. Okay. He showed me this twice. I have told you guys so many times, do not eat the food. Okay. Food is like good or bad advice. And also, what the food can do is make you sick as well. So, whenever food is present, and someone has died, I know that this was forced to shut them up. You got to understand, when someone can't speak, that is a form of death. All right. So he was given food. Someone was fixing food for him. Okay. So there is a group of black men like himself. There's a group of them. And he was not a part of this group until recently. There is a woman who made this decision, okay, to put him in this group. They actually put him in the front of the line. There was one person in front of him, and he got between the middle of this person and that other person. He skipped ahead. They put him right there. He's next. So what that tells me is there was somebody before him that they got rid of, then him, and then there's going to be somebody after. Okay. These group of men are very positive black men, happy black men, doing stuff great for the community. These men are men that are well rounded. Think about, you remember in school they had the beta club, and the beta club was for like the community, and they did they're known for doing all kind of things within the community. That's kind of what it reminded me of, like just well-to-do black men who are happy and they were serving their community. They were doing well-rounded things that made them happy, and that also brought light to the community, to the culture. Okay, they put him in that category. And what I mean by them putting him in that category, not saying he wasn't always like this. Okay, we got to put you in a category where you're too influential. You're too influential. Also, this was retaliation for the Nottoway Plantation. Okay, that's why I said they're ready to play now. They're ready to play now. This was retaliation. So, as long as we continue to build up the ancestors, as long as we continue to venerate, as long as we continue to worship, they're like, okay, we're going to take one of yours. That's why we got to get stronger. We got to start doing more. Okay? That lies on us. We can't let them do this. You understand what I'm saying? We got to start doing more. It's not just enough to venerate. It's not just enough to talk about it. What are you doing? I need you to find out what your gifts are. If you do know what your gifts are, stop being scared and do what you're supposed to do. Stop holding back. Just like Biggie, how his death was planned, Malcolm's death was planned. It was orchestrated. There were some hitters that were, no, don't do this. Kind of like, we can't do this because it's Malcolm-Jamal Warner. There were some people opposed, but the ones who weren't outweighed that and they went through with it. Malcolm knows all of this. He knows all of this. That's why he showed me all of this. And his spirit did put up a fight. His physical body did put up a fight. So don't think he didn't go out without a fight. Okay? If you can understand where I'm coming from, just think about slavery. How they punished all the slaves when one did something, and they did that by removing them or killing them. That was a punishment for everybody. So this is a punishment for all of us, but we're not going to look at it like that. I'm truly sorry that this happened to our good brother, Malcolm-Jamal Warner. But I know he would not have changed anything about what he was doing. And so this is what I mean when you got to understand that the people who are in the limelight, the people who play in the Matrix, this is what they're subjected to. This is what's on the line. Because you got to understand they have a platform. They've made money. They can do what they want to do. And when you have that few that go against the Matrix outline, this is what they're up against. That's why I said yesterday, I wouldn't want to be a celebrity. I wouldn't want to be a politician. This is what you're up against. So people are always like, oh, it's got to be, you're always talking about these people when they pass their chance. But no, they can't. They're not like you and me. They're in the game. We're in the game, but they're really in the game. They're playing their parts. And when they find out they don't want to play these parts, this is what they're up against. Okay? I found out what he was hiding. Malcolm said they not finna recycle me. He hid his heart, his soul. He hid his soul so they can't get to it. They not finna recycle my energy. They not finna do that. So this is what I want y'all to do. We're going to continue to speak great things about Malcolm-Jamal Warner. We're going to continue to talk about his great accolades, the things that he did, what he meant to the culture, what he meant to the community. So he took care of that. Okay. And by taking care of that, because his daughter is part of his DNA, she's protected as well. So they can't use her either. That's why they were together. I believe it was probably his daughter. Okay. What I see is that, remember that I told you that his body was like kind of like swollen and stuff from the water. So the water, that part did happen. Okay. He did die from a drowning, but it wasn't because a rip current took him. What I see is that him falling off of a boat. I see a man with a bucket hat on. He has pale skin. He could be a Caribbean or he could be a white, but I know he is very pale white skin, and he's slim, and his body is so dry. It's just dry. I've seen spirits who have drowned in the water. Their body, I can see the water. It's not dry. I can see the grit of sand. Even when I see him in that little bit, he had no sand on him, like like he had been drugged out. Nothing like that whatsoever. His body is clean, dry. Okay. And you got somebody that's behind him, somebody that's in front of him, and they're carrying him. And I'm seeing the vision now, and I'm seeing him going over this boat. But when they're carrying him out the water, he's dry. So I know he died from drowning, but he was unconscious when he went in the water. So being that he's dry, it wasn't that he was in the water and all this and that, and he got wet in the current. No, it didn't happen like that. Okay. He made sure I see him. He made sure I could tell he was dry as a bone. Okay. So what happened is like he's breathing in this water. He's breathing in this water, and yes, he does drown, but not in the way that they said. Okay. So that's what actually happened. So y'all, this has been, I've been having a lot of I've been traveling a lot in the astral since last week. And I've been really pondering, really trying to pick apart my astral travels. And I understand why now that I saw Malcolm-Jamal Warner when I did before I know that he died, because it was all leading me to this. So they didn't like what I said about Kirk County. So they wanted to show me something. So they're like, okay, she gonna see anyway. Let me show her. So when I channeled Trump, and I was telling you about the duality and how we have a double and all that kind of stuff like that, what I did not tell you was that they let me in. I know where the souls are. I know where they keep the doubles. They said, you want to see it? Go in and see it. They let me in. When I tell you that, when they say hell is on earth, when I walk, so it's a house, it's on the beach, and there's a door to get into the house. It's a big house, but the house has all these different rooms. And when you go into one room, it leads to another house. So I went into one room, which led to another house. But in the house, there are no doors. It's very narrow, spacious, but narrow. No doors. So you walk out of one room and it's connecting to another. So it's narrow like coffins to me. Each room was narrow like a coffin, like a big coffin. I didn't like it. And I was not all the way asleep when I saw it. I was awake. All it took for me is to turn around on my right side to come out. So I was awake. All I had to do was close my eyes, and I saw, and they said, go in. They let me go in. This is where the souls are kept. And when they swap out your double, they put you back out at sea. Remember I told you with Noah's Ark and how they had them in the ark, but that's really a coffin. And it was duality, two of each. They put you back out in the sea, back out in the water when they swap you out. That's why it's by the